Well, what's going on, City League people here? This is the City League Sports Show. Today, we have with us a former 76er. We are showing some love to a 76er, a Kentucky Wildcat. We have Miss Eleia Roddy on the show today. I'm your host, Dr. Vince Clarino. We're going to get into some fun stories. Eleia, say hello to everybody here in Central Ohio and go from there. Say what's up. Yes, indeed.
What's up? What's up, Hi? What's up, Columbus? It's good to see y'all. Good to be with y'all today.
Hey, the beauty of that right there is, and I will constantly encourage shout outs, right? Because that's what we do. We give shout outs and we give love. You started off immediately with some high love, some Independence love out here, East Side in the house, right? And so I share that because I know about you. I know about Columbus basketball. I know who you are. I don't know your journey though, and I would beg to probably say most people in Central Ohio don't know your journey, right? Yeah. So before we kind of get to like your time at Independence and those things, and then moving on to Kentucky, like where does your basketball journey begin? You know what I mean? Give us a peek behind the curtain of Eleia and Roddy and getting buckets and doing your thing. Give us a little bit of peek behind that.
All right, I'll give you a peek. I'll try to make it short because, of course, it's a long story. But I guess it would say it started out at Schiller, right? Mm-hmm. My cousins and my brother started out at Schiller. And around the age of 9, my dad tried to throw me on the boys' team. At the age of 9, I always was tall. So, I was always watching my cousins play, watching my brother play, but it came to a point where my dad was like, you finna start playing basketball. So I remember 9 years old, doing a layup line, first time out there on the court, I passed the ball to the wrong line. And, classic layup line, you're supposed to, get the rebound and outlet. I ended up passing it to the wrong line. So I was so nervous, so scared. I did wrong. I ran out the gym crying.
Oh, wow.
Ran out the gym crying.
No, where is this at? Where is this at?
Schiller.
Oh, this is at Schiller. Okay, this is at the rec center.
Yeah, the rec center.
Okay,
Schiller.
yeah, okay, all right.
Yeah, so I ran out the gym crying, running to my mom like, I can't do this. I don't want to do this.
Oh, wow.
So my mom let me off the hook. I didn't play that year. Years go by. I'm tall. My dad's like, you going to play basketball whether you want to or not.
Okay.
So he put me in a Christian league. Okay. And the Christian league was that, I don't know if you remember, former Cons. I can't even remember.
Yeah. You talking about on McGuffey?
Yep. There's a Christian league over there, and that's where I basically got my start in basketball. And after that year, I played on the AAU team. Then my freshman year, I ended up playing at Whitehall.
Where'd you go to middle school?
Oh, can't forget that. I did play at middle school. I went to middle school at Johnson Park.
Oh, yeah, JP in the house. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Dr. Bosley, love her.
Dr. Bosley. That's blessings. That's a beautiful name to bring it. We haven't had a Dr. Bosley shout out, I don't think, on any episode, but I got love. Well, just because it just, you would have to have that perfect storm. And I got love for Dr. Bosley. So it's great to hear her name come up on the show because she was one of our fierce leaders. And if you were at Johnson Park, you had an opportunity to be with someone special.
Absolutely. My whole family has love for Dr. Bosley, and she was pivotal definitely in my journey. And, so definitely played 8th grade year at JP. We won the city, I believe. We just used to, smash teams and everything. We had a really good team. Then my freshman year, I ended up at Whitehall. Freshman year, ended up starting varsity for them. And then I originally wanted to go to Eastmore Academy, but of course at that time they had the lottery, so I didn't make the lottery that first year, so that's how I ended up at Whitehall. Okay. And the second year I made the lottery, and that's when I transferred to Eastmore Academy and played with Sharice Daniels.
Oh, yeah.
What was the coach over there? I forgot his name.
Miranda.
Yes, Coach Miranda.
Yeah. Miranda, Coach Miranda is still around. One of our good coaches. He actually has transitioned. He's coaching the boys team now. at Eastmore.
Okay.
So he's still around and doing phenomenal work for the school
That's
system.
Amazing.
Yeah.
He's been over there for a long time, then.
Yeah, he has and I know we're sharing your blessings today, but he has one of a rare resumes as a person who took a girls basketball, boys basketball, and football team to state level. So he's been a good leader. So you spend a year there, or how does that work?
I spent a year and a half at Eastmore.
Okay.
Definitely, my family was at that time. Of course, Independence was the dominant team in the league in the city. And so my family was definitely under the impression that I needed to be at Independence if I wanted to go to the next level. So that was like right before Eastmore, broke out and had their superb seasons and stuff. So I ended up transferring to Independence my junior year in the middle of the year, and ended up playing with Jessica Davenport, Star Allen, some of the players over there at Independence. Of course, Jessica Davenport and Star both went to Ohio State, so we were just a stacked team. And
let's stay. Hold on, let's stay in that space for a second if we can. Right? Let's pause there and take a deep breath. So obviously, when you started off today's show, you immediately gave a shout out to Independence, I and that love, and I love that spirit. Do you consider I your high school home? Is that home for you as you look back on it?
I definitely, yep. I definitely consider Independence my high school home. It's where I finished out my high school career. Back then, it wasn't. I don't really think it was that normal for kids to be transferring it like it is now. You know what I mean? Like how kids go through the transfer portal, and they just transfer. Back then, it was like I was thinking like, oh my gosh, I done gone to 3 high schools, whatever. But it was a good experience for me because it allowed me to meet so many different people in Columbus.
Certainly.
And I ended up at I-High. Like I said, my first cousin, Tori Cornett, was at Independence. I had a brother that was in Independence, other cousins that went to Independence. So it just ended up being a good fit for me, and definitely having Tori there, he helped me in the transition. And
I bet.
Being an athlete definitely helped me in the transition.
Yeah. So throughout this transition and this journey, you've mentioned mom and dad a few times. Were they integral at every step of the way, helping kind of guide you? Because that, like you said, you were conscious that, hey, look, I'm a student athlete. I'm at 3 high schools. Did they help you say, okay, hey, look, now we at Independence. We gonna settle in and make this work?
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely. Once I got to Independence, it was like, get serious, show up, do something. And it came to a point where, like, in the beginning of my career, it was just kind of like always something I was doing because, my dad pushed me into it because I come from a very athletic family. My family was all in Southfield at Marion Franklin, football players, track runners, swimmers. Like my whole family, the Roddy family is athletes. So
just get it in. I love it. You said all of us. We gonna do something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
hold on. If you throw that out there, I need to ask you then, who's the best Roddy athlete? Is it you? Is it somebody who's the one? Oh, but you said me, right? Hey, look, with a beautiful smile. You said me, like we ain't tripping up in here. Hey,
it's me. I mean, me and Tori is neck and neck.
Okay.
Outside of me and him,
there you go. I love it. Hey, so everybody that gets a chance to listen to the show, line up behind Eleia. She gonna take y'all where y'all need to go to. I love it. So your family plays this important role. Dad, you share, pushes you and says, hey, look, you might be a little frustrated, but let's keep going.
Yeah, for sure. And then I can't forget what was pivotal in my career was my AAU team.
Okay.
I was blessed to get on to a team called the Queen City Jaguars, and they were based out of Cincinnati.
Yeah, if you're saying Queen City, you got to be out of Cincinnati.
Queen City Jaguars, yes. Tom Jenkins, Ohio.
Yeah.
So we were sponsored by the Shipleys and they were a very well-off family, and they just were able to expand my horizons. We traveled all over the country.
Wow. Okay.
We was a stacked team. We had players from Youngstown, Dayton. Some of my teammates were on the Dayton Lady Hoop Stars team that actually made it on the Disney Channel.
Okay.
So Amber Bland, Courtney Davidson, she's still coaching. Then we eventually recruited Star. So we was just a very stacked team, so much so that we won the state twice in a row.
Oh, wow. So you were around a lot of good basketball.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And then when I wasn't playing with the Queen City Jaguars, I ended up playing on an AAU team with Marche Dotson.
Yeah, I know Marche. Mm-hmm. We actually gonna get into some of Marche because I'm curious to hear some collegiate thoughts. But so you're at Independence, junior year. You got Star, who's a sophomore. You got Jessica, who's a senior. We had Jessica on the show a while back. You got Jessica, who's a senior, and here you are as a junior. So you all have 3 years of highly talented, talented players. Jessica was doing everything right at the time, and was just on every list of every name of everything, and goes on to Ohio State. So
absolutely.
So you go from what ultimately and like you know, as a junior, you go from a second team all-city player, which really could have very easily been first team, right? But because you're on such a stacked team, or the way it plays out, right? And then your senior year, here you are, and now you're a leader at a school where you've only been at for a year. So you were playing for Coach spencer, correct? Yeah. So you and Spencer's our guy. You know, Spencer's still around out here showing Columbus people love, right? And so now, here you are as a senior. So what does that look like for you, all of a sudden being thrust into this leadership role as a kid?
I think it was really natural. The team needed that, and I wasn't really never a loud player, but I always led by example. So I just had the team's buy-in based upon my work ethic.
Nice.
And my attitude. So it was really just a natural transition to being a leader, and then having some of my other teammates, Shaquana Cummings and some other seniors, help lead. Yeah. So,
okay. Yeah. So you have like, and I say this in the most in the highest level of respect, because like I said, Jessica cast a big shadow. You know, she was All-American, all of those types of things. You come in now, you're a leader, you're the senior, and you all are doing things. What do you remember from that season that kind of is a memory to you that's maybe warm or something from that senior year of playing at Independence? Is there anything that stands out at you?
I mean, I remember we had some really good wins. I think we had a really big game against Brookhaven. I believe that was my senior year, and that was at Independence. And I think we won. I can't remember. Okay. But I do know we had some big games, like in the playoffs. I remember we did have a disappointing ending to the season.
That's okay. That happens. Yeah. Only one team in sports is not disappointed in the end. I share that every time I talk to people, because even if you make it to like a state championship or a Super Bowl or whatever it is, if you don't win the Super Bowl, then you're disappointed, right? So only one team can be happy in the end, per se, through and through. But I'm sure you all had a lot of success that year.
Oh, yeah, we definitely had a lot of success, a lot of wins. I just remember it being fun playing with Star and just hype. Like, just playing in the city league is just like hype. It's just a hype league. It's fun. It's competitive. It was fun playing against some of the better teams like Beechcroft and Brookhaven.
Did y'all play Mifflin?
I believe we did play Mifflin.
And I don't know. I was just curious. I'm just asking. But I
know Mifflin was that team. Definitely. I believe Bridget was there.
No, Bridget was at Beechcroft.
Beechcroft, yeah.
Yeah, you talking about Bridget Brown?
Bridget Brown, yeah.
Yeah. I think she was at Beechcroft.
I can't remember if we ever did play Mifflin, but it would have had to be like outside.
Outside the league, or maybe in the city championship or something like that. Because that's where Marseille was at.
Yes. Oh yeah.
So now, how do you end up at Kentucky? That's the question I think every listener wants to know. How does Eleia Roddy go from Independence? Then next thing you know, you run around out here and you at Kentucky doing your thing.
Well, I would have to say, like I say, I go back to my AAU team, Queen City Jaguars. That being on that team was very pivotal because, like I said, we traveled the country and we won the state, and then we went to the nationals, and we ended up 7th in the nationals my junior year, sophomore year.
Okay.
Yeah, junior year, and then we ended up 5th the next year.
Okay.
So I was playing on a national level.
Yeah, lots of exposure.
Lots of exposure. I had college coaches sending me letters since my freshman year.
Okay.
So I was getting recruited by Kentucky, and I took one of my official visits to Kentucky. So I just really liked Kentucky. My mom's people was from Kentucky, so I kind of had some roots there. And
you had some place you could at least go get a meal or something, right? Go. You got at least somebody you could go get a meal when you needed to or something like that, right? You had some love there,
exactly.
Okay? Yeah.
Exactly. And I was also being recruited by Louisville at the time, so I took one of my official visits to Louisville. But I just knew like the history of Kentucky with the championships,
certainly,
and the support, and then Coach Mickey DeMoss was down there. She coached with Pat Summitt.
Okay.
So it was like the history.
Perfect fit for you.
Yeah, the opportunity to rebuild a program, to do something, and definitely play for Coach DeMoss was just like, yeah, I'm gonna do this.
And you're playing in, obviously one of the historic conferences in the country in the SEC. Good basketball, like you said. You got Tennessee, you got Florida, you got you all, in Kentucky is playing LSU. You know what I mean? You got good basketball day in and day out, and then like you had the pedigree for it. So not only are you like you got a family who's supporting you. You're coming from a family of athletes. You go to a high school where it ends up you got like. A high school team with 3 Division I high level players on it is rare. I don't care if it's 1995, 2005, or 2025, right? That's rare, unless it's some type of prep school or something like that, right? That's rare to see. So you've been in the gym with quality players, and now here you are, and you go off to Kentucky having this exposure. And I wanted to ask this real quick. So you're in Columbus. You're playing for an AAU team out of Cincinnati. Was that a lot of traveling on the family?
A lot of travel.
Shout out to, is that mom and dad doing all the driving?
It's mostly dad, grandma, grandparents.
Love it. Give them some love out here. Just hop in the car. Let's go, baby. Pack your bag. Get in the car. Let's go. That's before they had all the fancy cell phones and everything. So you could just, you had to read a book or something back then, right?
Yep. Rest in peace to my mama, my papa. But they were pivotal. I can't say that word.
No, pivotal. They were a part of your story. They're an important piece of where you're at.
They would drive down to Florida for the nationals. They would drive to Tennessee.
From Ohio?
Yes.
Oh, my. Get it. Yes, indeed.
I was playing at UNC, and my grandparents, we drove down there. So, yeah.
Okay. So now, you're playing AAU, lots of exposure. You're narrowing your choices. Louisville, Kentucky. You end up at Kentucky, and then now you're playing in the famed SEC, like you talked about. When you look back at that experience as a whole now, because I know you had an injury your junior year, was it? I
had a few injuries.
But I thought was it your junior year where you set out the majority? Was that the longest time you had set out ever?
My junior year, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I had set out that whole year. Yep.
So when you look back at your time in college, though, Does something stand out, or multiple? Are there multiple memories? I mean, because I could imagine the first time going in and playing Tennessee at Tennessee must have been amazing.
Yes, I mean there were so many memories at Kentucky.
Well, you got this beautiful smile going. Something's popping in your brain. Which one is making you smile like that today?
I'm thinking of my freshman year when we got blew out by LSU by Simone Gustis.
Okay.
And Sylvia Fowle.
Yeah. Okay.
But it was just like, oh my God. It was like, oh my gosh, I'm playing against these players. Like, they were so good.
Right.
It's just so good to be on the court with them, like Simone Gustis. Simone Augustus. Augustus Simone. I'm saying her name wrong. I'm saying her name wrong.
Well, what was that practice like the next day? What was that practice like the next day after getting blown out? Because I was on the school. We got blown out often, more than I would care to say, right? And I can remember some of the practices more than I can remember the game of getting blown out.
Man, just tough. Like 3-hour practices,
Right.
Waking up at 5 a.m, going to work out.
Yeah.
Then you got to go to class, and then you got to go to a 3-hour practice in the middle of the day. Then you got to go to study hall at the end of the day.
That's right.
It was just tough. It was just tough.
Yeah, but, those tough situations and experiences have made us tougher. I share especially, like kids today, like there's too many of them who run away from the challenge. And the second it gets a little tough, the second someone says to you, like, hey, you got to wake up at 5 a.m. like you're speaking to and do these things to improve and get better, to one day become an Eleia Roddy. This is what you have to do. And I think kids today treat it like we're telling folk tales. These ain't made up stories. These is real stories. Like, this is really what you have to do. You really have to set your alarm at 4:15 and wake up and be in the gym at 5. Like, that's not pretend. That's not like your grandparents who used to tell you, I walked 10 miles in 10 inches of snow. This ain't that story. This is a real story, right? So you're in school and you're having that experience. You played against a lot of people, but then along the way, your senior year, does it all start to come together for you as a package? Or I mean, that's my question, but in your mind, when do you think it all started to come together?
Yeah, I would just love to give a bigger picture of my career at Kentucky.
No, please do. Roddy, you tell me. I'm following you.
This is how it goes. My freshman year, of course, I'm coming from, independent, star player, whatever, but I'm coming to a level where the players are just as good and even better. So I came in with 5 girls, so we were like the Fab Five at Kentucky.
Okay.
So
5 freshmen.
5 freshmen, yes.
Okay, all right.
So the other 4 girls that I came in with, they were top players, and they were getting a lot of playing time. I'm talking about they were starting, they were getting the accolades, they were getting the interviews and everything, and I was sitting on the bench. So that was definitely hard for me to experience that, and I had to go through a process of learning how to be a teammate, and support my teammates who are getting more playing time than me,
right?
And not be jealous,
right?
And not, back there like, whatever, I could do better than her,
right?
But so it helped build my character. And I remember I would go to my assistant coaches to get in to watch film. I would go, I would ask them to come to the film, outside of practice hours so I could work on, my jump shot. I had to tweaked my jump shot my freshman year. I tweaked my free throws. I was watching film. I was learning how to be a good power forward, center, a good post player.
Yeah.
And from my freshman year to my sophomore year, I went from riding the bench my freshman year. Sophomore year, I went into being a consistent 6th man.
Nice. Okay.
To eventually starting, and I started my first game that I started was against Tennessee. They were ranked number 1 at the time. Candace Parker, Pat Summer was there. That was in Rupp Arena. I remember I told my team this story before I asked my team, I said, y'all know the story of David and Goliath? because many people don't come from a Christian background. So
Okay.
I had to ask them and say, y'all know the story of David and Goliath? They didn't really know. So I had to, give
Certainly. Yes, indeed.
real quick. And I said, basically, David defeated the giant Goliath, and that's what's going to happen today. So we beat Tennessee.
Oh, wow.
That day, we beat them.
Okay, hold on. Pause for a second. I asked a question like about 3 or 4 minutes ago. What is a highlight from when you were at Kentucky? And you gave me a blowout story of losing to LSU. And then you come circle back with this inspirational moment of beating number one Tennessee. You know what I mean? Like that's the lead right there. That's the story we was looking for. I'm sorry. Go ahead. So your sophomore year, first start, you get the team in the locker room. You give an inspirational speech. You share them, a part of your background and your story, and y'all go out and beat Tennessee at home.
Beat Tennessee, yes, at home at the arena. Yeah, in front of 14,000 people.
That's beautiful. That was
the highlight. And when I think about Kentucky, I think of that game.
Yeah, if you're listening right now, if that don't bring a smile to your face, because that brought a smile to my face. I'm holding back a little tear for you, and I didn't even know anything about. I'm doing all my homework. I missed that game completely. So if I would have had that would have been in my notes, right?
Yeah.
That's especially for those of us that follow the game. We know what Tennessee has meant to the women's game in college, right? And so the history. So to do that is saying boom. So you go out. So I took your thunder. Go ahead. Y'all beat Tennessee. Go ahead, because you were sharing some pieces there.
Yes. So that was the highlight my sophomore year.
Wow.
For sure. 2006 for sure. That was the highlight. I mean, we were celebrating like we won the national championship.
Certainly.
Tell us nothing.
Right.
We were just on a high that year. We ended up going from just going to like WNIT. We ended up going to the NCAA that year.
Beautiful. Okay.
And we went to the second round and we played Michigan State. And I actually played against my AAU teammate in that game, Aisha Jefferson.
Okay.
And that was just a battle all the way down to the end. We ended up losing.
Okay.
But it was just a great season, for Kentucky to go from, WNIT not, making any NCAA appearances to, beating Tennessee, being ranked. I believe we were ranked as high as, I want to say like maybe 10 that year.
Yeah, I was going to say that'll boost your rankings. You go out and beat a team like Tennessee, that'll boost your rankings completely.
Yeah, and just being in the SEC and getting more wins. I mean, Vanderbilt was good.
Forgot about Vandy.
LSU was good.
Yeah.
Georgia was good. Florida was good. Like,
let's pause there on Florida. Let's pause there on Florida for 2 seconds. Did you were you? I mean, you were in school when Marseille was at Florida as well. Did you play against Marseille when y'all were in school?
Me and Marseille played against each other.
Yeah, that's good stuff. I mean, that's probably a nice feeling to just be in school and then see someone from your hometown, even if they're at an opposing school. It kind of lets you know, hey, look, I come from good stock, right? Like, we getting it in. I'm here at Kentucky. She's there at Florida. And then you talk about you see a teammate of yours in Michigan State. You got high school teammates at Ohio State. So you're saying, hey, look, I can compete with the best of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was love playing against Marseille. We always, kept in contact. She actually had a lot of the respect of a lot of my teammates just because she was such a dominant player. And it was just fun. And then, just playing against her and stuff. And we beat her a couple times. They beat us a couple times.
Nice. So they're telling me I only got a little bit of time left, and I told you 30 minutes go fast, right? But I want to get in. I want to get in a few things here. So along the way in your senior year, I was reading somewhere that you just basically like turned into a double machine. Is that? I mean, was there any type of nickname to go along with that? Because it seemed like every night out, you going out, you getting a double every night.
Yes, it was my senior year. It was like my comeback because, like I was saying, I experienced like 4 knee injuries in my career.
Okay.
And my sophomore year was a good year. And then like you said, my junior year, and then I had like a redshirt year. And so my senior year, I just was on fire, and my nickname was Hot Roddy.
Hot Roddy, come on, let's go get a double-double. I love it. Okay.
And then I believe I had something like maybe like 11 or 12, maybe 13 double-doubles in a row.
Yeah.
I think I set a record, basically.
Right. I think I was reading that like basically you own the school record of double-doubles in a row. Just you had a stretch where you must have just been out there balling.
Yeah, I definitely, I had my head on, like focused. I wanted to ball out for my team and just, make everything come together. I had worked so hard with my physical therapist, off seasons, coming back from those injuries wasn't easy, but
yeah.
I just was able to do it. So,
okay. So do this for us as we start to wrap up. Give the parent of a young lady who's playing basketball, give the kid who's coming into high school next year or is in high school right now, give the advice that you would have wanted someone to give to you, or the advice that someone did give to you to help you along that journey when you were a 14, 15-year-old young lady trying to figure it out. What's something that you needed to hear or that you believe someone needs to hear?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Definitely, I would say the biggest thing is don't quit. Don't give up. Because as, good as it sounds, like definitely there was frustrations back then. Definitely there was, challenges, tears, pain, struggle, all of that. And many times I did want to just quit. I did just want to give up. I didn't see Kentucky down the road,
Wow.
You wouldn't have been able to tell me that I was going to end up at Kentucky.
Nice.
And I cannot go without saying that my faith in God is a huge part of my life. And really, He is the reason why I ended up at Kentucky when it's all said and done. So for the young people out there, as hard as you work on your sport, don't forget God. Don't forget your faith, because your faith is going to carry you through all the challenges you're going to have. You're going to experience as an athlete, whether it's injuries, problems with your teammates, you're not getting along with your coaches, things ain't working out the way that you wanted them to. Your faith is going to carry you through, and that's going to be the thing that keeps you going. So also, and just keep a positive attitude. The attitude determines your altitude. Is going to determine how far you go.
Yeah.
If you're not getting accolades and nobody's recognizing you, nobody's shouting you out, people don't know your name, doesn't matter. Keep a positive attitude. Work hard when nobody's watching. We live in the age of social media where everybody wants to be seen, everybody wants to be recognized, and if you're not looking, then you're not doing. But right. you gotta be the person who's different. You gotta be doing when nobody's looking.
That's right.
You gotta be waking up at 5 a.m., going to the gym or doing your workouts, doing your sit-ups, doing your push-ups, doing your calf raises, doing whatever you need to do to get yourself prepared and to better yourself and prepare yourself for the game. So for the parents, I would say, push your children and also speak well and speak life into them. They can really achieve so many great things if they just have somebody that will believe in them, have somebody that will encourage them, and not always, criticizing them. Because I know in our community, we always like, you got to be hard on these kids. You got to be, right. But sometimes kids need praise and they need, reinforcements and affirmations. So
nice.
Definitely parents, give that to your kids and just know, the sky's the limit. So, don't limit yourself and don't be afraid and just go for it.
I love it. Hey, look, today, guests, we had a lot of fun. All of our listeners, we had Eleia Roddy in the house here today. And what I love about what you shared about don't quit, parents being supportive, giving their children praise, believing in them and giving them that. Because, like you shared a moment ago about don't quit. It, like, number one, when you can learn life lessons through sports, and when you learn that notion of not quitting and accepting the results, right? Because we have a tendency to throw a lot of shade and hate in our community from time to time. You know, we see somebody doing well, and then we want to shower hate in their direction. Right. And so it's like not we don't want to lift each other up, which is unfortunate, because that's what the platform of this show is all about. When we talk about this platform in this show, this is to shower love on the Eleia Roddys and everyone else who has come through the school system and done well. We're telling our own story, right? But you get that energy, and when you say don't quit, you help a young person realize that through sports you will learn a life lesson, and that will carry you forever. So when you have those challenges later on, and you're ready to pack it up and call it quits, you can go back to those moments and say, nah, I'm not going to quit, because I have worked so hard, and that's the part that people don't see. People like you look up Eleia Roddy's at Kentucky, but we don't see all the 5 a.m.s and all the work you done to get there. Yeah. So people just see the outside, and then they think they can criticize when they don't know what you done to get to where you are.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very true.
Hey, you have been a wonderful, wonderful guest here today. We appreciate having you on the show and sharing some people about your story and all the beautiful things you've done. I got to do an outro right here, but I'm going to let you say your final goodbye and any shout outs you want to give. And then I'm going to say an outro, and we're going to get out of here.
I just want to say thank you so much for having me on your show today. Thank you for, setting it up to show love to people from the city, because we do have to support each other in the community. And I just want to show love to everybody who watched the show today, and God bless you all.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. Appreciate it. Everybody that listens, be sure to catch us on your future episodes on Radio WCBE 90.5 FM. Wherever you catch your podcast, Spotify, Apple, whatever platform it is, follow the show. And additionally, follow us on IG at Columbus or at City League Sports 614. I'm your host, Vince Clarno. This was Eleia Roddy, Hot Roddy in the house. Appreciate you.